Guess what? It's Friday again and the weekend has just begun. But that's not just about it. Welcome to the Style Project, proudly brought to you by Vaseline. My name is Sylvia Owori and I'm joined by Clay Chatuhaire, who is a motivational speaker, businesswoman, and wow, doesn't she look beautiful?
Hi guys, how you all doing?
And Solomon Tazabon, who is the fashion editor of the African Woman magazine and stylist to Uganda celebrities.
Hello people, I hope you're all as excited as we are about tonight.
And today we have a very special guest, Farida Nakazibwe. We are so excited to have you today.
I'm so honored to be part of the team. I always watch you guys, you're doing great.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tell us about, who is Farida? Tell us about yourself, first of all.
A mother, that is the first thing I always say. I am a mother, proud mother of two beautiful girls. Hello Ali and Keza, I love you. I'm a TV girl. I've been on TV for about 7 years now, doing the Luganda Bulletin and TV Akaongezi. And lately, Mwasi Zemotia, the Luganda program, that talks about anything social, the things we live with.
Well, we all know that Ramadan has already kicked off. And to all our Muslim friends, family, we here at the Style Project are here to give you a couple of tips on how to rock it when you are in the fasting season. So we did come up with a list of ladies that inspired us by how they trend with the Muslim attire. To be precise, decent but classy. We'll begin with Farida's style.
Fashion for me is about simplicity. I love simple things. I'm not a jewelry person. If you have noticed, most of the time I have either a pin, a ring or a watch.
We can see we tried. We tried to convince her to put on some jewelry, but she's stuck with the pin.
Yeah, because I love it simple. And I think it works for me.
What advice would you give to the Muslim community in Uganda, the women and the men? What should they be wearing? Should they look up to you and getting inspiration? Do you always dress like this?
I don't always dress like this. I'm sure you've noticed with my shows. I rarely dress the hijab, but I have to respect the man. That is what the season says. That is what the Quran says. I have to move with the times.
Maybe Clay needs to ask you a question. What is a hijab? And what is Clay actually wearing?
Clay is trying, but of course I can define her shape. The hijab doesn't.
You're trying.
She's trying, but it also discourages too much jewelry. She's shining a lot. You're attracting. The essence of the hijab is for you to look modest, decent, and respectable.
But
yes,
if she's
you're
going to a wedding,
yes, it is good for a wedding. And it is too much hijab, which attracts men's attention.
But it's not
that is what they
good for the show.
It's good for the show, but Islamically it is not good. But you will move with the time, but you're not scoring too much when it comes to religion. But you're looking beautiful.
I kind of disagree with you, Farida, in a way, because when I travel, like in Dubai especially, I see these women that are so dressed up. I think we'll have a look at pictures and see their makeup, they're wearing a lot of jewelry, and they look absolutely gorgeous.
Because the times have changed. People are moving with the times.
Yes.
As long as they're decent, they are respectable, they'll change. And
but what would be unrespectable for Clay's outfit?
It is not. She's very respectable. Very, very. I'm only saying Islam discourages too much jewelry. She's sparkling.
I, for one, think the Muslim women, especially in the Western world, just take it to a different level whenever it comes with accessorizing. Because you can even see the embroidery that they usually do on their garments. It's so rich, it's so elaborate.
That is very true.
Yes.
But like I said, it is the times. Things have changed as we move. But when you look at the Quran, of course the Quran was written so many years ago. These things weren't there. That is what they had at the time. I don't know whether we are doing the right thing to move with the times.
But I could argue the same thing in the Bible. They say you have to wear, Everybody used to wear knee-length clothes, but times have changed. Let's have a look at images from all over the world. Let's see how people dress during Ramadan, and not only Ramadan, but if you're a Muslim, what should you be wearing, especially on Fridays when you're going to the mosque.
Wow, I think that brings us back to Farida's talk. Times have changed. I really love this woman.
What's her name?
Sheikha Moza. She's a fashion icon. Some people may not describe it as proper hijab, but yes, she's decent.
And I should say she never really actually wears traditional, Muslim garments, all the ones that we see our sisters here wear. Because I see a couple of dresses, I see a couple of separates, I see jackets.
She even does pants.
Yeah. I think she's so experimental whenever it comes to dress.
And she always nails it.
I think she's a trendsetter for the one bold color. You know, you bolden up one color. If it's black, it's black. If it's the blues, it's the blues. The grays.
Yeah.
She looks beautiful.
And she's actually wearing clothes right off the runway, like off New York Fashion Week.
I think she also cuts, she limits the jewelry. I hope you've noticed. She doesn't have too much of it.
I mean, all our dresses are so elaborate, but I mean, they would not necessarily need a lot of jewelry.
Is there a specific type of way, Farida, that you're supposed to, do your hijab?
The veil?
Yes,
yeah, to cover your hair.
I think the veil you do it, it depends on how comfortable you are. And I think it also depends on the shape of your face.
Ladies, you're listening. If you have what kind of face do I have?
You have a cat face.
I have a cat face.
So I have to cover it a bit. So if you have a face like mine, when you wear your scarf, it has to cover a little bit. If you have a face like a Farida, you have to wear your scarf. Pull it behind a little bit, so you can show off your cheekbones.
Now, to me, that's fashion forward.
Yes.
She has layered her look, and she's using the metallic belt, which is so trendy right now. We see a hint of lace and a maxi skirt.
That is like a proper hijab.
Yes, it is.
Because everywhere is covered. And you see it's trendy, but I see Ugandan women on the streets, style up. Look at these women. There's so much fabric downtown that you can just pick because it's very easy to put together.
And not very expensive.
And not very expensive.
You can get those normal dresses, long to the point, very beautiful. As long as it matches with your body, you have to know your body type.
I could see Madame wearing.
I know, I could wear that all day, every day. It's actually close to something that I'm wearing. Since Farida just said no jewelry, I could go with all that.
Muslim weddings,
yes.
Are you supposed to basically cover up everything?
It depends on your faith, like I told you. We are supposed to be covered up all the time.
Can we see some pictures of men? Because for me, like, same I've seen in Dubai, in the Arabian countries, in Qatar, the men look so beautiful. And they wear
like they're all white.
White, everything white. And our Ugandan Muslim men, like, they go to Dubai. Please go and have a look at how those guys actually dress.
So what do you think about that ensemble there? Is it?
I think this is too much. It has a collar, and then you put a jacket, and then, I don't know, look at the length. I don't know whether it's the wind blowing.
He even has some animal print inside there. Have you seen it?
I think it's a confused look. And then he has too much of this. It is a confusing look.
Now there's some men that are they're called batabrik, that wear 3/4 pants. What is the difference?
It is about hygiene. They believe when they do it long to the toe, it is going to pick up all the dirt on the way, and they don't want to move pulling it. That is why they choose to do it that way.
Mine is definitely not picking up any dirt.
But is that a kanzu anyway?
It was initially,
You cut
but
it.
then I cut it.
Cut it.
Yeah.
And I kind
He
of had to
styled
make
it.
it work. Just like with Rihanna here rocking the jumpsuit. I was kind of wondering, is it in order for a Muslim woman to wear pants or a jumpsuit?
It is discouraged. According to the Quran, it is very discouraged. But when you look at her, when we talked about times have changed. She is actually extremely smart. But with those trousers,
How about the ones that go inside?
inside where?
Like
You put on like a legging, then something
Because there are
on
those
top.
big
That
trousers.
is okay
that
because it is
usually-
inside. Some people think covering your hair and wearing it to the wrist and to the toe, you're wearing hijab. Yes, you're covered up, you're very decent, but when we go back to the specifications,
Well, I hope
you know, when I was dressing up, I thought Farida would actually say I've done a good job. But
you're very smart.
oh my God. You know, I've just seen so many young girls. Maybe it's not about their faith, but they want to also please their parents. Like my mom says, I should cover up and all. I think it's cool if you could just, you know, do your pants and then put on a big blazer like those girls were doing. And, you know, still rock it in times because, like you said,
It's about decency, it's about modest. Times have changed. That is a fact we have to.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break. Let's have a look closer to home to the celebrities in Uganda rocking the hijab. And first starting off with Clay Solomon, what do you think? Now that we are all properly educated about hijab, what do you think?
I think she just threw a veil over a less dress.
yeah, that's true.
Basta?
It was actually it was last year, and I just wanted to wish people a happy Ramadan. So I just, you know, it was actually a sweater.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a sweater.
You cheated,
yeah.
I did.
but you look great. And those were, yeah, your friends.
The one in grey is called Mercy. I think she's one of those Muslim girls that I look at and feel like, oh my God, thank God you're Muslim. If you're Christian, you would be dead with this fashion world. She really accessorizes to the point. From her veil to her shoes, it's amazing.
And
That's Mimi.
Mimi, Bingi's sister.
Yes, that's Zuena's
Zuena's.
sister, Mimi. I like the fact that she, you know, she had a bit of color down there. It wasn't just the black and the brown. And she actually did that herself.
And she always is dressed like this.
Yes, all the
She's-
time.
Yeah.
And you know, Farida, what do you have to say about, you know, people feeling like if you're older, it's when you actually cover up?
How sure you will get old? Do it when you think, okay, maybe that is when you think it is ready. I'll do that again.
Because when you see her and you see Zuena, their dress style is absolutely different. You can't even tell Zuena's little sister. Because every time you bump into her, she's dressed like that. And I thought she was very young to be dressing like that. But then, you know, I'm being educated here that
It's about your faith.
it's about your faith,
It also comes back, I think, to
the style. Because-
time. When you're a young girl, you really feel you want to flaunt it. Let them
Like,
see
you
it.
have a lot of
Then you
time.
think, okay,
But she doesn't. She hasn't experimented.
yeah, she's a young. I'm sure she's younger than
Zuena, yes, she's much younger, but she's always basically dressed like that. And not only in Ramadan, she's just like that every single day.
So Farida, what do you have to say about comfort? Because you know it's a much warmer
It
climate
is very
here.
comfortable. It depends. When you've
No,
been
but
wearing it all day. Remember the
So if
Arabs?
you're
It is
all
very,
covered up.
it is very hot in Arab countries. Very, very hot. But you find them dressed in black, and they are very comfortable because they are used to it. And it is very comfortable.
Yeah, I
you
think
know.
it's an adoption.
it
You really
takes-
adopt
Yeah.
Your
it.
body
You get
gets
used to it.
it.
Very, very.
Very.
She was smart until she mixed
prints.
zebra. Okay, the prints are very, very different. I think also she would have put on a red bag.
There's
Too much white and black.
I actually
The
have no
prints are-
problem with the
The
different
print?
prints.
Really?
She's clashing them and they kind of coordinate. But the problem is the colors. She's like, it's got to be black and white from head to toe.
Not good.
Gold, so that when we go back to the Quran, that's not the right way.
No, for the ladies, it is okay.
She's always matching it, but when you meet her in Angenois, she's not dressed like that. She's in the club and she's dancing
I
away.
think she dresses according to where she's going,
Yeah.
according to what she feels at the moment.
And I've actually been noticing her veils. They are designer veils. That's a
Chanel.
Louis Vuitton. The other was a Fendi one. It's like,
And which one is that? So
No, this is great. I think this is a better fairy than the other two, according to me.
Yeah.
The mix of color.
Like
colors.
Yes,
yeah.
much difference.
The Muslims need to find out so many different designers who can actually tailor their clothes. Because I've gone, like on Fridays especially, you're walking outside of office and you'll see all these Muslims in the same sharia, same sharia, same sharia, same
It
sharia.
depends where you shop.
Wow, is that Kim Kardashian?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But she
Covered,
looks
dressed
different.
decent.
She looks absolutely different. Why was she dressed like that?
Probably she was going to an Arab country. She was meeting Arab friends or something like that. A Muslim function.
And what do you say also about makeup? Because
Talk about makeup.
makeup,
about makeup.
yeah, when you're wearing
Makeup is discouraged. See, almost everything is discouraged.
makeup is discouraged.
There's
That's
too
all I
much,
have to
especially too much of it.
But I
It is
always see
discouraged.
Muslims with
They do.
I
Even the
love
Arabs.
wanja.
Have you those ladies in Dubai?
They-
They do makeup, layers and layers.
Yes.
And they look beautiful.
Yes. It's discouraged according to the Quran. Which life are you in, Farida?
I mean, the real life. Real life, you see I've put on makeup.
I know, but have you stayed in there or you're in between?
You know, because you've been seeing
I know why
I
I
think, I think too, it's got to do with her job and how she's supposed to present herself at the end of the day.
It is about you.
Yeah, it's
What
about
do
No,
you
but I
want to
also
do?
see like her personality. She's very composed and she's like talking like a princess. It's like, you know, she's been groomed in a certain way.
Oh no, that is me. That is me. These things, Twari Sangao. We follow what they told us.
Don't
That
you
is
worry
what
about
we found.
Twari Sangao. Coming up is the fashion tip from the one and only Farida Nakazile.
These clothes are quite expensive. You may not afford one for each day. What you do is buy as many blacks as you can, then invest a lot in the veil. The veil you can play around with. Get a black, play with a veil. I mean, put a veil with different colors. Get different colors. It may be one, maybe three. Just play around with the veil, the shoe, and the bag. You can put some belts. That way you will manage. Those who wear the hijab only during Ramadan, it can take you through a month. Those who do it daily, you can borrow the same. And then you can also make it, calm it down. Don't put too much. You have the you have the veil already on, and then you have a necklace. You're trying to really show it is there, and then you have earrings, and then you have a watch, you have a ring. Everything is in its place. Try and match. Buy as many veils as you can.
It's always a pleasure having you join us here on the Style Project. We know it's been time well spent and that you've learned a thing or two, haven't you guys?
We have.
Do not forget to follow us on our Facebook page, which is MTV The Style Project, and on our personal Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook handles. The Style Project is proudly brought to you by Vaseline. Of course, it makes your skin glow and beautiful. Until next Friday, enjoy the Ramadan.